Yeah, no. These guys have been terrible, but I think they're going to turn it around. Well, I guess we hope so, Michael Bolton.
Thanks, Josh. It's Michael Bolton here, and it's time for another episode of the Locked On Fantasy Basketball Podcast. Let's get to it.
Let's get to it, indeed.
You are Locked On Fantasy, your daily NBA fantasy podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello and welcome to the Locked On Fantasy Basketball Podcast, brought to you by Basketball Monster. My name is Josh Lloyd, and the FCC won't let me be. I'm also the lead fantasy analyst at basketballmonster.com, and today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. If you want to be right in the middle of the action this season, go to FanDuel.com and place your NFL live bets all season long. Thank you also for making Locked On Fantasy Basketball your first listen every day. We're free. We're available on all platforms. We are part of the #1 sports podcast network, the Locked On Podcast Network. Thank you for pushing us there. Where else are you pushing us? Well, into talking about, not 9-cat losers, that's the wrong transition button, but that's okay. We're talking buy lows. Should we do the spiel? Maybe I'll do the thing here, where I tell you that the 6 names that I mentioned are not the only buy lows. There are other players that you could consider buy low players. I've just got 6 names that I want to highlight. So, you go, is he not a buy low? Maybe, he might be, but he's not on the list. That's okay. You do not have to acquire these players. You can try to acquire them if you get them at a good price, not at what you perceive them to be later on. If they're on your team, that's actually probably, maybe not a great sign, but it should give you hope that things are going to get better. The track record of these guys improving their stock is pretty good. So it's not a bad thing to have 2 of these guys on your team, because it means, yeah, it's been a slump, but look, we might turn some of this stuff around. So that's really a lot of the disclaimers that we do when we talk about this show. But one of the other things we do need to talk about when we do this show is we need to come in and we need to just check how we did 2 weeks ago. I like giving 2-week windows. Sometimes a 2-week window is not enough, and we will probably do like a longer term review on this at the end of the season. But how did we do when we did this 2 weeks ago? As I realized that I have the wrong header on this graphic. Good start, Josh. Week 6, we recap the buy lows. And again, this is not just about, hey, can I trade this guy? Or can I trade for this guy? It's about, is this guy just not performing at a level that he should? And are there reasons that may be clear or maybe not as to how they can improve? Austin Reeves was the 38th ranked player the last time that we did this, and I said, look, he is going to be better than this. There's a narrative aspect to it that he's underperforming, but there's also, hey, LeBron will be coming back and Reeves won't get back to that same level. Well, he's been unbelievable. He's been the 7th ranked player since then. And yes, LeBron missed some of that time. Then Luka missed a couple of games. And then yesterday was an absolute disaster from Reeves. But overall, he was never going to be as bad as 38th. He's not going to be as good as 7th. I think top 15 is realistic for Reeves this season, which is honestly like just an insane thing to think about. Devin Booker, that one didn't work. He was 52nd. He's been 62nd since then and got injured. Now, he hasn't really played that much, and I still firmly believe he's going to be way better than 62nd, so I'd happily put him back onto another buy low show. I'm not doing that today, but that one didn't work. The rest did. Kevin Durant was 54th. He is 17th since then. Evan Mobley was 63rd, one of the easiest buy lows of all time. He is 25th since then, which is basically bang on line with where you would have drafted him. And the last one was Alexander Sarr, who, like Booker, has been injured in that time. But we talked about that there was the potential for panic on Sarr, where people were looking at, oh no, those shooting numbers are all falling back down and it's all going to be terrible. Well, he was 102nd and now he's 28th. Yes, he has been out and we want him back very soon. But I'm just presenting the numbers of what happened. We take the L's, we take the dubs. It usually evens out pretty okay. So, speaking of L's and dubs, we'll go to the dubs, the Golden State Warriors, and we'll talk about General Soreness, James Butler III. Jimmy. A player who was, and will be for the rest of his career, I think, drafted below what his per-game numbers are because of the risk of injury. We know this. And he did actually get hurt a couple of games ago, and that reduced his overall numbers over the last 2 weeks. But it's not as much as you think. It's very easy to go, well, Josh, of course his numbers are down. He got hurt and he left a game early. He's only playing over the last 2 weeks 2 fewer minutes than what he's playing for the season. He hasn't been 37-minute a night Jimmy Butler. He is 66th over the last 2 weeks. He's averaging 35 fantasy points. What is happening with Jim that is causing this downturn? Well, what would you say, and I know you know, but what would you say the number 1 and 2 things are for Jimmy in fantasy? Big steals guy, great, high percentage, high volume free throw guy. All right? Everyone sort of understands that. He's not a big scorer. He gets really good assists, but it's about steals and really good free throws. And over the last 5 games for him, he is shooting 77 from the line on 7 attempts, which turns him into a sizable negative. A sizable below average producer who actually takes away from your team's free throws on that volume. For the course of the season, Jim is at 85. He was at 86 last season. He was at 85 the year before that. All right. He was at, 84, 86, 85 the last 3 seasons. And he's at 85 this season. So I feel pretty good that he's going to be an 85% free throw shooter. It's just fallen away. And the steals. The last 3 years, 1.4, 1.3, 1.8. This season, 1.6. Last 5 games, 5 steals. That's it. Yes, the game that he left early where he played 15 minutes, he had 0 steals. The game before that, he played 37 minutes and had 0 steals. And that's really all it takes for the steal numbers to come down. They're the things. He's also not taking any threes, really. Like, his 3-point attempt rate is down. That's okay. That's not a big deal. That's not what you draft Jimmy Butler for. But it is still down about half a 3 to a 3 per game. And there's improvement to come there. And this often happens, but like he's not a shot blocker, but he hasn't blocked a single shot in 5 games. But normally you get about 1 a week from Jim. And just add that on with the extra 3 steals you're getting a week that you're missing out on, plus the free throw percentage, which then, of course, leads to extra scoring. He's only at 17 points per game. And this the 2 minutes fewer per game he's playing over the last 2 weeks does not account for a drop of 0.6 steals. It does not account for his free throws at all. It doesn't account for not having a single block during that time. So, and Jimmy's always going to be built in with the people having the risk of shutting down or rest, or I don't think inner turmoil is really the problem with Jim this season. But in terms of acquiring Jim, I think you look at him as a top 40 guy. At the moment, if people are worried about the injury, if people are worried about what the Golden State rotation is, if they're worried at all about his performance, you get a top 60 guy and make the trade. I would do that very comfortably. But it's also just about, like, we're just seeing weird stuff happen. And people react crazy. They can react so weird. Like, speaking of Austin Reeves earlier, there were people yesterday, and shout out to you guys. I know you were. They go, man, I can't believe this guy lost me my matchup. Because he shot, 18% or whatever on Sunday. He lost me my matchup. And my thing was, yeah, but he actually put you in position to win your matchup by the other games, which you wouldn't have been had he not shot like 65% of the other 2 games. But because it happened on Sunday, then the reaction is, well, he lost me it. He's the one he's the reason. And when you look at what Jimmy did with his bad free throws over the last few games, like 7 of 10 on Sunday, people go, well, bro, what's going on? This guy's supposed to win me my free throws. He loses me the category. People can be very reactive about that stuff, and you should take advantage when they are. Hopefully, you're able to do that. We'll come back with 5 more buy low guys. Today's episode, though, it is brought to you by FanDuel. NFL Sundays move fast. One big play, and suddenly everything feels different. That is what makes live betting with FanDuel so exciting. You're not just watching the game, you're reacting to it in real time. With FanDuel, you can place live bets as the action unfolds, every drive, every momentum swing, and every highlight moment. Live betting is best when the game starts to shift. A receiver gets hot, the defense tightens up, or you get a momentum flipping turnover occur, and that changes everything right on its head. FanDuel lets you jump into the moment. Live spreads and money lines that adjust instantly. Player props update as guys heat up, and you can bet things like next touchdown scorer, drive results, totals, and it keeps you locked into every snap, every drive, and every possibility. You can also go and check out the NBA Cup, the odds for the NBA Cup, which is happening tomorrow, the quarterfinals. The Thunder are minus 135 favorites. The Magic are out to plus 1100. They were at like plus 650 before the Franz Wagner injury. So they are way, way down. The Suns, of course, at plus 5,000. Not much chance for them going up against the Thunder. But you can check all that out over at FanDuel. When you want to be right in the middle of the action this season, go to FanDuel.com and place your NFL live bets all season long. FanDuel, the game moves fast, and so can you, and don't forget to gamble responsibly. All right, we are talking buy low players. We're talking guys who are underperforming, and we expect them to be able to improve that underperformance. So we're going to go to a guy that is the bane of many existences, and there is a slight connection to the term bane. It's not Desi, it's his former teammate. Old Triple J, Jaren Jackson Jr. What is bro doing? Over the last 2 weeks, Jaren is the 131st ranked player. Now, I'm just going to quickly say this, because I say this because I know that people think this. And I know, not everyone, but I know there is a cohort of you that will say this. The answer is no. You don't drop him. You absolutely do not drop him. The answer is no. It remains no. And it will never not become no. So, get that out of your head immediately. Yeah, he's ranked 131st. Cool. He's averaging 29 fantasy points over the last 2 weeks. Sick. These are not good numbers. Very obviously. But you don't drop him. Like, very obviously, you do not drop him. He is struggling. And the last 3 games in particular, over the last week, are horrendous. 8.7 points. Has not hit a single 3. 0.7 blocks, which was saved by getting 2 of them on Sunday. Shooting 39 from the field, 57 from the line. These are horrific numbers. The usage at 19%. Unbelievable. Now, the Jaren Jackson that we thought we might be getting this season, I don't think is coming back. He was at 29 usage and 28 usage the last 2 seasons, and then he lost Desmond Bane. But the Thomas Isolo offense is not favoring him that way. He's at 24 usage and Morant is out at the moment and it's going down. Now, maybe Ja gets him more involved because of his self-creation stuff not being as good. But I think the role that he had offensively the last 2 years, I don't think that is coming back, which is annoying. And I do think that his toe is creating some concerns. Like, he had that toe surgery in the offseason. I think it has to be. But like, what we're seeing from him is just, I don't really understand why it's so bad. Why can he not hit a 3 anymore? Like, I'm pretty confident that's going to change, right? I'm not worried. He's hitting 27% from 3 over the last 7 games, including zero threes made in 3 games. He's at 33 for the season. Now, maybe he is a 34% guy. That's okay. He's at 38 last season, 32 the year before that. Maybe that's what he is. But it's going to be better than what we're currently sitting at. Maybe the usage doesn't go back up. Possible also. But I feel all right when we look at Jaren Jackson about the block numbers. Now, he's never going to be the 3 block guy, which he was 2 years ago. He was at 1.6 and 1.5 the last 2 seasons. He's at 1 a game this year. Obviously, that is really quite bad. And I don't 100% get it because it's not... I know it's very easy, and the common criticism is, well, he doesn't try on defense anymore. He's contesting more shots at the rim per 100 possessions this season than last season. 7.6 versus 7.4. It's not much, but the idea that he's not contesting shots is just not true. His overall shots contested is 23 per 100. Last season, it was 20. So he's doing more of it. He's just not blocking them, and I don't really know why. His ability last season to... his rim opponent field goal percentage was like 13.9% below average. This season, 3.1. Is his timing off? Is that his toe? Is it just luck? I don't know. But the idea is that, like, when we're talking about a player like this and you're worried that, you know, maybe he's focusing too much on offense. Well, offense is down. Is he just not... He's not lazy. He's being lazy. He's not contesting shots. Well, he's contesting more shots. So I have a level of confidence that it's not going to stay at half a game, the blocks. Give me back to 1.2 maybe. I hope. And then, like, why are his free throws bad? He's at 72 from the line the last 7 games. He's at 79 this season. 81 last season. 79. Like, he should be around 80%. It's just an unfathomably bad slump. And yeah, like, I've adjusted my expectations. I had him as a top 40 guy. I don't think he's going to be that. I think top 70 is more realistic. But if people are on the verge of dropping him, you probably don't have to give up much to get him in a trade. I don't think the threes are this bad. I don't think the blocks are this bad. I don't think the free throws are this bad. I don't think the usage is this bad. I am somewhat concerned that the injury and the play style of the team has led to some of these problems. But I don't think it's as bad as it currently shows to be. Shall it, or will it? Yes. Because everyone hates Myles Turner now as well. Right? He looks really bad. It's not encouraging the minutes trend, which again is more of a, I think, Glenn, what are you doing, than Myles, you are absolutely terrible type scenario. But Turner is under 24 minutes a game over the last 4 games. He's at 26 minutes a game over the last 8. I thought that he was being held back by the Rick Carlisle rotations. And Glenn Rivers played Brook Lopez 32 minutes a night last season, so I thought, well, Myles will get 32 this season. Thought that was relatively obvious. Apparently not. Apparently we're just not seeing that, and he's seeing his minutes reduced a lot, and it's not really through foul trouble. That is concerning. There's no question about that. I have dramatically adjusted my preseason expectations on Myles Turner, but he's also basically, again, he's been unrosterable the last couple of weeks. If you want to go strictly off rankings, 26 fantasy points, I could make that up by streaming. 161st for category leagues. You can get better than that off the wire. But like Jaren Jackson, I am not dropping him. I'm just not dropping him. Because there are plenty of things here that can pretty easily look better. Number one, you realize that no, we don't need Jericho Sims out there. Like, that doesn't need to be a thing. He's averaging just 13 points a game over the last 2 weeks, Myles Turner. Again, if someone is looking to dump him, you go and acquire him, you get him for your second worst player. I'm not sure that he's a top 100 guy, honestly, this season. I'm not sure. He can be, but I'm not sure that he is. Because I've had to readjust my perspective on where he sits. But a 43% shooter, I don't know. That doesn't seem like that's what he's going to be. His last 3 seasons, 48, 52, 55. Now, unless Unk is just completely washed and like one of the biggest fall-offs you've ever seen, it doesn't seem realistic. His 2-point percentage, yes, it's fallen every year. 64, 62, 56. But he's at 51 for the year. And admittedly, over the last 2 weeks, that's actually up to 61, but he's taking no 2s at all. 3 2-point attempts per game in that time. Bro, come on. 3. He was taking 7.5 2 years ago. So basically, he's being used only as like a spot-up 3-point shooter. That's all that's happening at the moment. His 3-point shooting is okay. It could be better. 34%. But he's at 39 for the season. He was at 30. He was at 40 last season, 36 the year before that. Well, that's all okay. The block numbers, they're okay. The contest numbers, they're all pretty okay. Part of the reason why he is just underperforming so poorly is for whatever reason, he cannot finish at the rim. 69% down to 60. Okay, why is that? He's not taking 2-pointers as much. His usage is down, which on a team as bad as this is a little concerning. But I do think this is going to correct. Yes, you know what? He is not a good rebounder. We're all well aware of that. I don't think there's that much confusion involved there. But it's gone to another level of bad this season, and we want it to be improved, obviously. 4.3 rebounds per game in 26 minutes is not good enough. You need it at 6 or 7 even. Because that's where he's been in previous years. His free throws are about bang on. His free throw attempts are about bang on. His blocks, they're a little bit low, and there's plenty of reason that can improve as well, because his contest numbers are all pretty strong. It's realistically just, he's just not playing enough. He's not taking any 2s at all. Is that a coaching thing? And he's just not finishing at the rim. So there's shooting percentage stuff, there's confidence stuff, there's minute stuff. I'm pretty confident that this is going to improve from where we're at with the big fella. But it has been very disappointing. Very clearly disappointing for Myles Turner. He's not a 20-point per game guy. He never will be. But why can't we get 15 and 6 with 1.8 blocks, shooting 47 from the field? I think we should be able to get that. And it's annoying that we don't. In a way to keep a theme going, different theme, let's just talk about a different Myles. Because Miles Bridges was on the Sal High show a few weeks ago. And that was a pretty obvious one. There were plenty of reasons why Miles Bridges was not going to keep up his level of production. And he didn't. But as happens very often in these situations, is that it's gone the other way, where now he is underperforming like crazy. I've got him as a top 60 player rest of season, Miles Bridges. He is the 140th ranked guy the last 2 weeks. He's averaging 31 fantasy points, when I think he's a 37 guy. What's happening? Well, this is easy. Like this, you don't have any questions here. The way that you could tie it in, the way that you can bamboozle and flummox somebody is that they think that the reason the production is down is LaMelo and Brandon Miller are back. And while there's a part of that that's true, it's not really. It's not really anything to do with it at all. Yes, last season he had 28 usage, with Miller and Ball out most of the season. But his usage is 25 over the last 2 weeks. It's got nothing to do with that. What has it got to do with? Well, he's hitting 18% from 3. I could just stop there and say that's it. He's hitting 18%. Is he a good 3-point shooter? Not really. He's an average 3-point shooter. 31 last season, 35 the year before that. Like, they're not great, but they're not 18. He's an 85 free throw guy this season. He was 87 last season. He was 83 the year before that. He is down at 73. Oh, that's easy. Done. Sort that one out. Bro averaged 0.7 steals last season. He's averaging 0.4 over the last 7 games. He's at 0.6 for the season, so plenty of room for that to improve. Easy. These are easy things. 6 rebounds and 3 assists, that's about bang on. So realistically, he's just not hitting threes. He's not hitting free throws. That's giving him about 2.5 points per game fewer. The steals and blocks can definitely go up. And then we're done. We're cooked. That's it. That's game over for him. Game over in a good way, as in like we're back on track. It doesn't take much. I think he's hit 1-3 over the last 4 games. Let me just double check that. 1. He is 1 of 20 from 3. I don't care how much you hate the guy. Justified. I don't care how much you think he's not a good shooter. Totally okay as well. But he's not a 1 of 20 shooter. It's going to go up. And he might probably have a run of shooting 45% from 3 for 2 weeks that make him a 24 point per game scorer. But it's about somehow trying to twist reality. If the other person has it in their head that Ball and Miller being back has made him worse, that's how you pull it off. Because Ball and Miller don't make you shoot 1 of 20 from 3. They don't make you shoot 10 percentage points worse at the free throw line. They don't reduce your ability to get steals. None of that happens. So I wouldn't be that concerned about these numbers, and to me it's a pretty easy buy low if you want to acquire Miles Bridges, of course. Viewing him as a top 60 guy rest of the season, get him for a top 80, top 90 guy in a trade, I'm happy with it. And if you've got him, just understand, because you might have the panics. Be like, oh, but what if it's Miller's back? Yeah, not that though. It's not the reason. It's not the problem. It's not the concern. The concern is nothing is going in. And that will change. I think, relatively obviously. That one's, I think, straightforward. We've got more to come back with. Today's episode, though, it is brought to you by Mint Mobile. There's no reason for big wireless to drain your wallet, especially right now during the holidays. Mint Mobile is running their best deal of the year. All of their unlimited plans are 50% off. That means that you can lock in for 3, 6, or even 12 months of unlimited premium wireless for just $15 a month. It's the easiest way to take your overpriced phone bill and give it the full Scrooge treatment. And what makes this even better is how simple Mint makes the switch. There's no contracts, there's no nonsense, just real savings and real quality service. Switching up to Mint lets you keep your same coverage for a lower price. Setup only takes a few minutes. You can bring your own phone and your own number without any issue. The service is fast and super reliable as well, even out on the go. So turn your expensive wireless present into a huge wireless savings future by switching to Mint. Shop Mint Unlimited plans at mintmobile.com/lockedonnba. That is mintmobile.com/lockedonnba. Limited time offer. Upfront payment of $45 for 3 months. $90 for 6 months or $180 for 12 months. Plan required, $15 a month equivalent. Taxes and fees, initial plan term only. Greater than 35 gigabytes. May slow when the network is busy. Cable device required. Availability, speed, and coverage varies. See mintmobile.com. We are here and we are doing buy low players for fantasy, guys who are underperforming. It's buy low, it's underperformers, it's however you want to phrase it. It's just guys who are struggling and guys that we think will cease to struggle as we move forward. And let's bring out another pretty common one, which maybe is not as prescient at the moment because he did play well last time out. But Darius Garland has been a disappointment. And one of the things that we talked about, I like Darius Garland a lot as a player. He does make a lot of what the Cavs do roll, and we've seen that with Evan Mobley especially. But one of the things with Garland is if he's not perfectly healthy, he looks bad. And if he gets injured in season, he struggles after he gets hurt. We saw it with the broken jaw. We even saw it last season with some hip stuff. And then his toe. And then he had the toe surgery to start the season. So that's why I was not that interested in drafting Garland at pick 60 and trying to stash him even though he's a top 40 guy. Because he struggles so much with this stuff. He has been bad. There is no debating this. He's the 149th ranked player over the last 2 weeks. That's about where he's been all season. He's averaging 29 fantasy points. I've got him as a top 90 player rest of the year with some scope that will improve as we get a string of like a month or two of health underneath him. Maybe 34 fantasy points he can get to. There is, there's limited minutes. He's had some real struggles with many things. But this to me is just very easy. You can be annoyed by what he does. You can be annoyed by games off. People are already again talking about, hey, do I drop Darius Garland? The answer is no, you do not do that. You hold on to him, right? But the easiest question, and to be honest, just answer it yourself. Do you think Darius Garland is a 36% shooter? Do you think Darius Garland is a 71% shooter from the line? Do you think Darius Garland is a 27% shooter from 3? And your answer to that is no. So done, right? That's it. That's the crux of all of this. He's got a 46% true shooting over the last 4 games. And that includes the last game where he went 17, 5, and 4 with 2 steals. It was a really good game. The thing about Garland is I'm giving you all these numbers, right? Where he's averaging 15, 4, and 6.5, and they're not that bad. His last 4 games, which is all he's played over the last 2 weeks, 15, 5, and 10, 21, 3, and 8, 6, 2, and 4, 17, 5, and 4 with 2 steals. They're actually pretty good games. And we'd be talking about them as being absolutely awesome if he just shot the ball normally. Like, what the hell are these numbers? Bro, this is a guy that was at 88 from the line last season. 88. He's at 87 this season. But over the last 4 games, just casually 71. All right, no worries. Shot 40, 37, and 41 from 3 the last 3 years. He's at 32 this season. That's gone down to 27 over the last 4 games. All right, any chance of any of these going in? Sure, let's see. 44% on 2s? Yeah, he's a 50% guy the last 2 seasons. Okay, again, the toe might mean some of this stuff doesn't hit the numbers that you want it to. But you've got so much space in between here to be able to get these numbers back to a usable area. He can add 12 percentage points onto his free throws, and it's still under expectation. He can add on that 3-point number 10 percentage points, and it's still under expectation. His field goals at 36, you can add 10 percentage points, and it'll be bang on. And then that turns him into a 20-point scorer with 3 threes a game, 2.5 threes a game. Don't even worry about the fact that he's at only 0.8 steals. He's not a big steals guy, but 1.2, 1.3, 1.2. So that's 50% increase potentially on steals. I don't know. To me, yeah, it's annoying. And it might take some time. And you do worry about how long he takes to actually come back. But his last 4 games have not been terrible. But if they just feel terrible. I don't really know how to fully articulate that. Because you look at the numbers and go, oh, what? Why is everyone talking bad? He just had 21 and 8 and 15 and 10. But they have been. He hasn't been good. He's barely played this season. But mind you, he's barely played this season. He scored 20 points in a game 3 times already. In 9 games. He scored 20 a game on a minutes limit. Yet we're all just like, this guy's dreadful. So I think there's actually a huge run coming here. If he stays healthy, by the time you hit middle of January, I know that's a bit of time away. I think you're talking top 30 Darius Garland in middle of January if he can keep himself healthy. Because he's doing things now where you look at it and go, oh, really? Okay. He had a run of 4 games in a row of 7, 8, 10, 8 assists. While injured. And while recovering. While being terrible. There's just so many things here that are easy to correct. Honestly, it's one of the easiest buy lows I think that are out there. It's frustrating. And he might sit another game due to his toe. But how are people valuing this guy at the moment? I know there's a lot of frustration. We're 7 weeks in. People might be losing their matchups because of what they perceive is happening. To me, it's pretty straightforward that, it can't get worse. It has to get better. Now I can actually drop the 9-cat loser transition and tell you what I mean by that. What do I mean by a 9-cat loser? It's when people strictly adhere to a 9-cat ranking. They use a straight 9-cat, including turnovers. They use the number that's referenced on Yahoo, and it makes someone look bad when they're actually not that bad. And the guy that's been unbelievable this season, but he's had a few struggle games, including, did he lose you the matchup yesterday? Mr. Keyonte George. Because he's been great. Absolutely fantastic this season. Just turning into a legitimate star. Yet, you're going to have a look at his 9-cat rankings over the last 2 weeks, and it's going to tell you he's 164th, which equals unrosterable. And you're going to go, well, what in the Palabunkero is going on here? Because he's averaging 20 points with 4 rebounds and 6 assists. He's hitting 2 threes a game, hitting 85% from the line and 40% from 3, 44% from the field. And you go, come on, man. Like that one game against the Thunder makes him an unrosterable player. It doesn't make him an unrosterable player. My Durant rankings puts him 72nd over that time frame, which is actually lower where he's been during the season. So why, in that time, is he considered so bad? Why do the 9-cat rankings hate him so much? He's at 0.4 steals, a very low number. He's at 4 turnovers, very high number. And volume shooting at 44% from the field drags your 9-cat number down. Simple as that. But let me again ask you, does 24 and 6 with 2 threes on 44 and 85, 0.4 steals, 0.4 blocks, not good numbers, but does that really look to you as a guy that should be sitting out on the waiver wire, which rake 164 would suggest is where his value has been? The answer is of course not. Of course that's not realistic. So that's about how do you bend and manipulate what information is presented to others in order to be able to get a trade that's beneficial to you. If that person had Keyonte George and they lost yesterday because of his performance, and then they go onto the Yahoo site or whatever and they look at that ranking number and go, bro, I thought he was good. Oh, he's actually ranked 160th, and here's X player on 4 points per game with 1.5 steals. It's ranked 60th. Oh, he's got to be better. You know the person. That person exists. That person's probably in the comments now. Well, actually, the rankings are useful. No, that's the rankings are the rankings. The math is the math. There will be someone who thinks that. Happens all the time. So, use it to your advantage. Swindle them. Manipulate them. Twist their nips a bit. Get it on your terms. Because he's been great. He definitely has not been the 164th best player over the last 2 weeks, Keyonte George. Just an easy. I'm not even telling you that he's going to necessarily improve massively on these numbers. He might. Like the steals could double. That's fine. But it's about a perception of where the numbers are for Keyonte. And they're better than this. I mean, the overall ranking should look better than this. And that is a 9-cat loser. We'll do sell highs tomorrow. The guys that are a little bit out over their skis and you can expect a regression. We'll talk about them. We'll talk about the 9-cat fluffers in that as well. And then we'll be back with a recap show of Monday's 3 games. Thumb it up, double bang. Join up and be an everydayer as well. We have the Everydayer Club, which for Locked On Fantasy Basketball, you can check that out. The link is in the show description for audio and on video. But what it is, it enables you access for just $5 a month or $50 a year for ad-free podcasts and access to the Locked On merch store, as well as a Locked On exclusive Discord, as well as Locked On exclusive national NBA shows. $5 a month, support the show, ad-free podcasts as well. So check that out. Guys, we are done here. Thank you so much for listening, everyone. See ya.